Hello everybody and welcome to another video on the GED Math. In the 2019 book we're on page 260 and this is ratio, proportion, and percent. So this isn't really a work page, it just explains the next page that we're going to do, so I'm going to leave it on here. Well, actually, you can go ahead and pause it and look over this page, just read it, get an understanding of ratio and proportion. We are going to go over this stuff in the next page, but if you do have, I guess, the written viewpoint of ratios and proportions, that'll possibly help you in the long run to understand it more. The next few lessons will probably be about this anyways, so we will try and inculcate it into our brains. Okay, so that's this right here. Basically, let's say the main thing to note is that there's three ways to write proportions. One is 4:1, and 4 with the semicolon or colon, and then 4/1, which basically all represents the same thing, the same ratio. So let's get started. Let's get the second page up here, which is the actual work page. Okay, make this a little larger. Okay, so we are on question 1. So Stan made 24 cells in 6 hours. What is the ratio of cells to hours? So one thing that the previous page does say is write ratios in the order of the question. So for example, what is the ratio of cells to hours? If it would have said hours to cells, then we would write 6/24 or 6/24 or 6:24, but since it says cells to hours, we'll write 24/6. Okay, so these are similar to fractions as in they will need to be reduced as well. See here, write each ratio as a fraction in lowest terms. So 24/6. Okay, 24, or we'll write it as a fraction because it's easier to see it that way and reduce it. I put 1, but I was supposed to put 6. Silly me. Okay. There we go, that's more like it. So which number goes into both of these since we're reducing it to lowest terms? Well, 6 goes into itself once and into 24, so we know we can use 6, okay? So 6 goes into itself once, and 6 goes into 24 4 times. So the ratio is 4/1, okay? Or we could write it like this, 4:1, or write it out like this, 4:2:1. Okay, so those are the methods you can write them out. We'll only be writing them out in one way, not all three of them each time. So that is the answer for that one. Let's see, clear canvas. Carol's monthly take-home, this is number 2 by the way. Carol's monthly take-home pay is $1,500. She spends $250 a month on food. What is the ratio of food costs to take-home dollars? So food costs. See, so even though this way is written 1,500 first, since this is what is the ratio of food costs to take-home dollars. So since food costs comes first in the question, we would write the food costs first. For food costs, 250 over the take-home dollars. Okay. So this needs to be reduced as well. So we know we can't do them by 100 because we know 100 goes into 1,500 evenly. But 100 does not go into this evenly because it goes into 252 times with 50 left over. Actually, something that I did not realize before, you could actually do it by 250. So 250 goes into itself once. Okay, we know that. And it can also go into 1500. Goes into 1500 6 times. So this is 1 over 6, okay? Anytime you see a 0 there, it could be like divisible by 5 or 10. I would also look for 50 or 100. It could also be, this case could be by 50, but not 100. Also, 25 could be divisible, as this could be divisible by 25, but you want to, and it's not always possible or easy to find out, but you want to get the highest number possible, because if you do that, then it'll make this here, the reduced form, the lowest terms possible. But if we would have done, for example, 50 goes into 250, if we would have done, let's say that's 5 times, then 50 goes into 1500 30 times, it still wouldn't be the lowest terms, okay? We would have had to do it again. What goes into 5 and 30? Well, 5 goes into 5 and 30. 5 goes into 5 once, and then 5 goes into 30 6 times. Then we would have reached the lowest terms, okay? But instead, if you pick the largest number, it automatically just goes to the lowest terms. So the answer here is 1/6, or 1/26, or 1 over 6, which is the fraction, or colon 1:6. Let's see, clear canvas. Okay. So number 3, a toy rocket travels 180 feet in 15 seconds. What is the ratio of feet to seconds? Okay, so we need to write feet first, since in the question it says feet to seconds. Ratio is 180 over 15. And that is the ratio. And in this case, I'd probably see, since this has a 0 here, it can be divided by 5s and 10s, but we know this can't be divided by 10s because 10 only goes into here once, but then there'll be 5 left over, but we want it to go in there evenly. So I might even try 15. Let's see, 15 might go into 180. Let's see. 15, I'm using a mouse pad or trackpad here, so my writing isn't so great, so please forgive me. So 15 goes into 18 one time. 1 times 15 is 15. There is 8 minus 5 is 3. 15 goes into 3, it does not, so we have to bring down the 0. 15 goes into 30 2 times. Okay, so basically, now we have this, since 15 does go into there. 12 over 1, okay? Because we have to divide both of them by 15. 15 goes into 180 12 times. 15 goes into itself 1 time, okay? Because that's just, if we were using a different number, say like 5, we would also do 15 divided by 5 is 3, okay? And 15, 180 divided by 5, whatever that number would be, well, it would be 36. Okay, so whichever number you're using to reduce it, you would have to multiply divide both numbers by that same number. And since we did pick the highest one, which was the highest number that can go in both of them, we got lowest terms, which is 12 over 1. Had we gone with 5, we would have gotten 36 over 3, which could still be further reduced to 12 over 1. Okay, that's just an expansion on what we talked about earlier. So 12 over 1 is the answer for that. Okay, at Phil's work, there are 12 part-time workers and 18 full-time workers. What is the ratio of part-time workers to what is the ratio of part-time workers to total workers? Okay, so part-time workers, there's 12. It's asking us the ratio part-time workers to total workers. Now, if you just look at this real briefly, you'll be like, oh, 12 over 18. But it's not 18. This is the full-time workers. So to know how many total workers there are, we need to add both of these, which 18 plus 12 is 30. Okay, so we need to put 12, which is the part-time workers, over 30, which is the total number of workers, both full-time and part-time. And then we need to pick a number that goes into both of these, okay, which I do believe the highest one, well, I'd start with 12. 12 does not go into 30 evenly, okay. 6 goes into 30, and it also goes into 12. 6 goes into 12 2 times, okay. 6 goes into 30, well, 6 times 5 is 30, so it would be 5. So 2/5, okay, or 2 to 5, or 2:5. Okay, so number 5. Juanita drove 336 miles on 14 gallons of gasoline. What is the ratio of miles to gallons? Well, mister, let's see, it's clear as canvas. What was that? All right, 336 on 14 gallons. 336, since that was the first one in the question, over 14 gallons. So ratio to that is, I mean, we can see that 2 goes into both of these. Wonder if 14 would go into there. Let's see, 14 into 330. Oh, actually, I'm writing this the wrong way. 336 dividend divided by the divisor. 14 goes into 33 2 times. 2 times 14 is 28. Then 3 minus 8 does not work. Cross that out. Make that a 13. 13 minus 8 is 5. When we cross that out, it became a 2. So 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay. So we have 5 there. 14 goes into 5. Not. So does 14 go into 56? It does. Let's see. 2 times 14 is 28. So 3 times 14 is 28. 38 plus 4, 42. Yep, then the next one would be 56. So that was what? 2 times 14 is 30. 28. Another 14. Sorry, guys, I just kind of forgot. 28. 42. 56. So that's 4 there. 4 times 14 is 56. Yeah, okay, so we're good. So 4 goes into, 14 goes into 336 15 times, 56 times. Actually, no, sorry. Silly me, I was writing the wrong thing. 24 times. And then we make this a 1. And that is your answer. So 24 over 1. Excuse me. Um, Now we have number 6 here, which is Lynn estimates. Hold on. Lynn estimates that a roofing job will cost $1,500. Bo estimates that the same job will cost $2,400. What is the ratio of Lynn's estimate to Bo's? So since Lynn's came first in question, we write Lynn's first. Edit, clear. Okay, 1,500. This is going to be a pretty easy one because we know that 100 goes into both of these. I'm wondering if there's anything else that goes into both of these that might be larger than 100. Well, who knows? 100. We can start with 100 since that's a pretty big number. 100 goes into 1,500, 15 times. 100 goes into 24, 24 times, into 2,400, 24 times. Any number that goes into both of these, well, 15, 5 goes into 15, but it doesn't go into 24. 3 goes into both of them, so 3 into 15. Guys, it's super important to know your times tables, because knowing your times tables, I know that 3 times 5 is 15, and I know that 3 times 8 is 24. Okay, so knowing your times tables is basic and necessary. Okay, without knowing that, this will be almost impossible. So learn your tables if you don't already know them, which you should. Okay, so 3 over 8. Sorry, that's 5 over 8. Because 3 goes into 15 5 times. And there we have 5/8. Okay. A basketball player attempted 32 free throws and made 20. What is the ratio of free throws made to free throws missed? Okay, so a basketball player attempted 32 free throws and made 20. So what is the ratio of free throws made to free throws missed? So we know he made 20. It doesn't actually tell us how many he missed, but we can deduce it from the total amount that he made, which is 32, and he made 20 of them. Okay, so we know that that's 12. If you want to do a problem, you can set it up like this. Okay, 2 minus 0 is 2, 3 minus 2 is 1. There you have it, 12. So we have 20 over 12. Can that be reduced? It actually can. Let's see, we could start off with 2, but is there any that might be larger than that goes into both of them? I think there is, but I'm just going to do, well, 10, no, can't be 10, 6. 6 times 4 is 24. 4, there we go, 4 goes into 20 5 times. 4 goes into 12 3 times. There we go. If you didn't know that, you could have just done it by 2, but then you would have had to reduce further. Okay, so 5/3 is your answer because that's the smallest. Okay, now let's move on to number 8. There are 10 men and 14 women in Kathleen's math class. What is the ratio of men to the total number of students in the math class? Sorry, I said ratio of men. I meant women. So what is the ratio of women to the total number of students? Again, it doesn't give us the total number of students, but we can deduce it because there's 14 women and 10 men, which means 24. So we have 14, which is the women, and 24, which is the total. Okay? And now we have to reduce this. Which number goes into both of these? Let's think about that. Well, 7 goes into 14 two times, and it goes into 24. No. 7 doesn't go into 24. My bad. Okay, so, well, we definitely know that 2 does. I'm just trying to think if there's any other ones. Okay, so 2 goes into 14 since we don't have another idea. 2 goes into 14 7 times. 2 goes into 24 12 times. That's your answer. Because it can't really be, there's nothing else that goes into both of these other than 1, but 1 does not count, never counts. Okay, so to paint his apartment, Alex bought 6 gallons of paint to cover 1,440 square feet. What is the ratio of square feet to gallons of paint? And by the way, guys, since we are doing a lot of reducing here, if you want to learn more, you can just look up like the rules for simplifying fractions. Look that up on YouTube. Since this isn't really about that, it's more about ratios. I've covered simplifying the fractions in the last few lessons, so just to let you know. But there are rules to simplifying fractions which should be learned as well. They're pretty easy. Let's see, we are on, sorry, I read the, anyways. Okay, so to paint his apartment, Alex bought 6 gallons of paint to cover 1,440 square feet. What is the ratio of square feet to gallons of paint? So square feet, okay, 2 gallons of paint. So they mentioned square feet first. So we have to put square feet first, okay? 1,440. Okay. Then 6. Does 6 go into 1,440? Well, I know, let's see, 1 plus 4 plus 4 is 9. I know 3 goes into both of these numbers. Not super certain. And I know 3 goes into 6, so let's try 6. 1,440. One of the rules I kind of used was if the numbers here add up to a number that's divisible by 3, so 1 plus 4 is 5 plus another 4 is 9. 9 is divisible by 3. Okay? So, and so is the number 6 here. So if you calculate all these numbers added together, and if you calculate all these numbers added together, which is just 1, they're both divisible by 3, then you know they are. You know you can use 3. Since I can use 3, I could possibly use 6 or 9. So, well, not 9, because 9 is larger than this, but 6. So, that's my reasoning. 6 goes into 100, well, actually 6 goes into 14. 2 times 6 is 12. 14 minus 12 is 2. 6 goes into 2. No, it doesn't. So bring down the 4, which is right here. We brought it down. 6 goes into 24 4 times. 4 times 6 is 24. So that's 0. So does 6 go into 0? No, it doesn't. So bring down this other 0. Okay, does 6 go into 0? No, it doesn't. So we put 0 up here. So yes, 6 does go into, basically we have nothing left to do here, so this came out to even numbers. So 6 goes into 1440 240 times. Okay, and how many times does 6 go into 6? 1 time. So that is your answer. 240 over 1, or 240 to 1, or 240 colon 1. Okay, clear canvas. Now number 10. Okay, choose the best answer to each question. Questions 10 through 12 refer to the following information. 3 candidates are running for mayor. Below are the results of a survey of 600 registered voters. So, 600 registered voters. This combined is 600. Okay. What is the ratio of Messa's supporters to Stothard's supporters? So Messa has 180 supporters, and Stothard has 220. So 180 to 220. Well, we know that 20 is an increment of 20, and 80 can also be incremented in 20s, and so can hundreds. Okay, so I'm going to start with that since that's the only option that I see. So if you want to officially write this out, I haven't been doing this, but if you want to officially write it, you can put it like this: divided by 20. So you could set up the problem. Well, you couldn't really, because you just have to. Best way is, to count by twos: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Then that's 5 right there, so it goes in 5 times. Then again, 2, 4, 6, 8. Another 4 times. So 5 plus 4 is 9. I'm making it easier by not using the zeros. Okay. So then this one goes into 200. We know that 20 goes into 105 times. So there's 200 here, so that's 10 plus another 20, 11. Can that be reduced any further? There's no number that goes into both of those. So there we have it. And I believe in this question they want you to write it. Well, the option is like this. So 9 colon 11, which means the same as 9 over 11 with ratios. Okay, yep, 9A is your answer. So 11, what is the ratio of voters who prefer Mesa to the total number surveyed? So remember, the total number surveyed is 600, and for Mesa it's 180. So 180, let's see what type of answer they are looking for. Let me see. So okay, like 3 to 7, blah blah blah. Okay, so this one I'm looking at looks like 20 also may be the best option for this. So from the last one we know that 20 180 divided by 20 is 9. Okay, and again here we know that 20 goes into 105 times, and there's 600, so 6 times 5, 30. Okay. So is there any other number that goes into here? Well, 3 goes into 9 3 times, and it also goes 3 times what is 30? You can see if how many times 3 go. Does 3 go into 30? Yes, it does, because 3 times 10 is 30. So 3/10, or 3, I believe how they were asking it. 3 to 10. Yep, 3 to 10. Okay, so that's your answer for number 11. So guys, here what we're trying to do is basically just learn how to write these problems down. Okay. How we actually get to figure out this problem, we pretty much went through in the fractions. So that's why I'm not like showing you exactly how to. I am explaining it while I do it, but exactly how to reduce, essentially do what we're doing. But again, there are rules for reducing stuff which should be learned if you don't know them. And a lot of it is kind of just guessing as well, kind of guessing, and then trying. Um, it is a little bit of a process to reduce fractions or to simplify them. They mean both the same thing. Okay, so what is the ratio of undecided voters to voters who have made a decision? So the voters who have made a decision are these ones here. See how it says undecided is 150. So there's 600 minus the 150, which is undecided. That would mean there's 450 undecided, okay? And the ratio, no, there's 450 that are decided, sorry. What is the ratio of undecided voters to voters who have made a decision? Undecided is 150, since they asked that first, we put that on top. 150 over 450. So using logic here, guys, we know that 50 goes into we know 50 goes into 100, so if there's 450 still goes into that. So 50 is a pretty large number we can use to reduce these. So 50 goes into 150. We know that there are 350s in 150, and into 450 there are 9, I believe. Yeah, 9 50s. So 3 over 9. But, as we can see here, there's a number that goes into both of these. So we actually haven't even reduced it as low as possible yet. So 3 goes into 3 one time, and it also goes into 9 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. That's how we know. Okay, so 1/3 is the answer. B is the answer. Now number 13. Sohn made a $400 down payment on a washer and dryer that cost a total of $1,200. What is the ratio of the amount Sohn has paid to the amount he still owes? So the amount he's paid so far is $400. Okay, the total cost was $1,200. So out of $1,200, if he made a $400 down payment, we know we have $800 left because we remove. So we have 1,200, which is the total amount, and he put down 400. So 0 minus 0 is 0. Let me just put this here. 0 minus 0 is 0. 2 minus 4 does not work, so we borrow from the 1 here, cross it out, make this 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. So 800. Okay, so Sohn made a $400 down payment on a washer and dryer that cost a total of $1,200. What is the ratio of the amount Sohn paid? So the amount he paid goes on top first, since that's what it asks. Sorry, that 0 is terrible. $400 over the amount he has left to pay. Okay, which is 800. And we know, guys, if the numerator, which is the top number, is half of the size of the bottom number, it will always be able to reduce to half. Okay, every time without fail. So that is 122. 122, which is C. Okay, now the last one is number 14. A team played 77 games and won 56 of them. There were no tied games. What is the ratio of wins to losses? So if they won 56, we know that we have to put 56 first. Okay. 77. So again, guys, if you know your times tables, you can figure this out, because I know that 11 times any number is its number twice, at least up to 9. So 11 times 1 is 11, 11 times 2 is 22, 11 times 3 is 33. So 11 times 7 is going to be 77. And I know that 9 times 7 is 56. Okay, so I'm going to put 7 can go into both of these. 7 goes into 56 9 times. 7 goes into 77 11 times. Sorry. I put 9, but I meant 8. 8 times 7 is 56. Okay, so 8, let's see how they went here. Yeah, 8 colon 11. So B is your answer on number 14. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Hope this helped. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. I'm trying to build up this channel, and I'll continue to keep putting and posting more videos up on the GED, the 2019 Kaplan book. Okay, the next lesson that we are going to do is, so we basically just worked on ratios right there. The next lesson is going to be on proportions. So see you next time.